Alright guys, Tom here and welcome to a new video, and today I'm doing the WWE Hell in a Cell 2013 DVD review. This DVD was supplied by WWE DVD.co.uk. Their link is in the description to buy this Hell in a Cell 2013 DVD. You can in fact get this for £12.99 on DVD or £13.99 on Blu-ray. I was supplied the Blu-ray version of this to review, and it does have a few extra exclusive since it is a Blu-ray version, but to be honest, I'm not really a big fan of this DVD. Now, this is going to be the biggest negative review I've done from a DVD so far. You know, I've done 2 reviews so far from WWE DVD Supply Me DVDs. They supply me every single DVD to review which is ever released by them on their website. I've done the Battleground review, and I've also done the best pay-per-view matches of 2013 review, and this one is probably going to be the most negative because I really wasn't a fan of this pay-per-view at all. I wasn't a fan of the pay-per-view at the time, and I certainly wasn't a fan of watching it again because I was not really a fan of it at all. I was quite bored through a majority of this DVD, around 80% of this DVD. I wasn't really paying attention at all. I really wasn't a fan of this DVD at all. But to be honest, we're going to do a review. I'm going to say what I didn't like about it, and of course there definitely is a few things I did like about it, but mainly it was a few things I just really wasn't a fan of, or I really wasn't entertained by. So we're going to go all the way through it, and we're going to review this DVD. So the first match on this actual disc is in fact the kickoff show. Now, they did actually supply you with the free kickoff show if it is it's a DVD extra. It's not just a Blu-ray extra, it's a DVD extra, and that kickoff show match was between Kofi Kingston and Damien Sandow, and I actually think this was one of the best matches on this DVD. A nice little quick pace match on the kickoff show. They always do a good quick pace match on the kickoff show because you've only got one opportunity to make a first impression to a fan, and if they're thinking about buying this pay-per-view, you want to make a good first impression. So they always put on a good match for a kickoff show, and this of course was another good solid match between two mid-carders, and I actually quite enjoyed this match. So to be honest, it is a DVD extra, and it was a good DVD extra between Kofi and Damien Sandow, who did put on a little good nice little match and a nice little ending from Damien Sandow hitting his finisher. They did put over Kofi Kingston quite well. They did get a few moves in there, so all in all it was quite a little entertaining short 5-minute match. Nothing really too much to complain about there. Now, my favourite match was actually the first match on the actual DVD, and that was between the Cody Rhodes and Goldust, the tag team champions, Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins against the Usos. Now, this was a triple threat tag match, which is quite an interesting match type. You don't normally see that at all. So really, if you want to get this DVD, this is something that's definitely a positive, something that you probably haven't seen before, which is a triple threat tag match. Now, how that worked was there was 2 tag teams in the middle of the ring, and obviously you had 3 teams. So you could tag anybody in. You could tag either 3 teams in. So if you were Seth Rollins and there was one of the Usos in, one of them guys could tag any other person into that match. It was quite an entertaining match. There was a lot of tags the whole way through. Great spots. Really, really fast paced. I mean, who doesn't like the Shield, the Usos, or Cody Rhodes and Goldust? I'm a fan of all them 3 teams, so I actually love this match. There's a great superplex onto the outside by Cody Rhodes onto all of the people in the match. Great match. So many good spots. The crowd loved it. They absolutely popped when Cody Rhodes hit that hit his finisher and got the 1-2-3 pin. It was actually awesome. He got the crossroads, bam, the crowd went mental. It was so good. The ending was phenomenal. Goldust punched Seth Rollins, and then he went into the crossroads by Cody and got the pin. It was a great ending. The crowd popped like mental. The whole way through the match, the crowd was mental because it was so entertaining, really fast paced. I love this match so much that I'm going to give it a nice little 8 out of 10. For the kickoff show, I'll probably give that a 7 out of 10 considering it wasn't too long, just a nice little well-packaged little match for the kickoff show. But that match, the triple threat tag match, was entertaining. It's a strange match type, very entertaining, some great spots, really fast paced. You've got 3 teams, so you're just going to enjoy watching. You're always guaranteed a great ending by the Shield. Just an all-round great match, nothing to complain about whatsoever. A great way to get the DVD off and running. Now, the next bit was The Miz calling out the Wyatt family, something which you wouldn't really expect on a pay-per-view, and something I wasn't really too nice about, because to be honest, I'm not a really big fan of The Miz, and honestly, the Wyatt family and Miz feud wasn't really something that was interesting anybody at the time. So the fact that they put this on the pay-per-view is quite strange, because it's really something you wouldn't really expect on a Monday Night Raw. It's kind of something you'd expect on a SmackDown, never mind a pay-per-view. So I wasn't really too happy about that, and the fact that it was on the DVD kind of felt like a little bit of a waste of time, and it was only really really to bring back Cain. And Cain basically came back, attacked two members of the Wyatt family, Eric Rowan and Luke Harper, and then went on to attack The Miz. Really wasn't really a pay-per-view worthy segment at all. I thought it was more suitable for a Monday Night Raw or Friday Night SmackDown, but to do it on a pay-per-view, it didn't really have anything to do with anything whatsoever for Cain to come out there, and really didn't come to anything either, so it really wasn't a memorable comeback whatsoever. Not really that, it just really didn't suit the pay-per-view. It didn't really, it just felt a bit odd putting it on the pay-per-view for Cain to return, and then a few weeks later, he was all suited up. It really wasn't a memorable return whatsoever. People don't really care for The Miz either, so the Wyatt family attacking The Miz just really wasn't exciting whatsoever, and something I just wasn't happy about it being there, so I'll give that a 5 out of 10. The next match was actually surprisingly quite good. It was a mixed tag match with the Great Khali and Natalya teaming up, of course, to take on Fandango and Summer Rae. And of course, the main thing about this was that Summer Rae was debuting, and in fact, she was debuting on a pay-per-view, and I thought she had some great chemistry with Natalya. I thought this match was actually very, very good. It put over Summer Rae very, very well. She did, in fact, get the win overall with the roll-up pin on Natalya. I thought they both had great chemistry between each other. Summer Rae got some great drop kicks in there. Very, very good, entertaining match. I like the crowd reaction. I mean, Summer Rae was interacting with the crowd. The crowd were loving it as well. They liked to see how Summer Rae would do, and I was actually intrigued how well she would do, and she did very, very well. So if you want a copy of Summer Rae's first ever match, you've got it on this DVD, and actually she did pretty well. So for me, I'll give it a 7 out of 10. I mean, the Great Khali and Natalya against Fandango and Summer Rae wouldn't really necessarily be a pay-per-view worthy match, but the fact that Summer Rae was actually debuting did kind of made it slightly special. But yeah, kind of a waste of a 10 minutes if you really weren't really bothered about Summer Rae debuting. The next match was a match which was just randomly announced, so it wasn't really anything special. It was Dean Ambrose versus Big E Langston, and to be honest, the ending to this was yet again quite disappointing. Dean Ambrose, in fact, got himself counted out, so he easily retained. He got himself counted out by 10, so he didn't have to carry on with the match against Big E Langston. I think the main thing about this was a great spear by Big E Langston outside the ring. I mean, he basically did what Edge did to Foley at WrestleMania 22, where he speared him through the table, except there was no table. He just speared Dean Ambrose. That was a great move, but to be honest, there's a few nice belly-to-bellies in this match, but nothing too that special. I think the pacing was quite slow for a match which I think could have been a lot better, because I'm a fan of Ambrose and Big E Langston, just don't really think they hit it off in this match quite too well. I think it could have been a lot better, so for me, quite disappointing about this match. I'll give it a 6 out of 10. The next match was the first Hell in a Cell match, and in fact, the fact that it's a Hell in a Cell match is great, of course. I know a lot of people do like a Hell in a Cell match, and the fact that it's a Hell in a Cell pay-per-view, of course, you do expect it to be on the DVD, but to be honest, I wasn't too intrigued about this feud. I think since Brock Lesnar faced Punk at SummerSlam, anything after that would have been not as good as what their match was at SummerSlam, so for CM Punk to take on Ryback and Paul Heyman was kind of a lost feud for me, and to be honest, the match itself wasn't too entertaining in my opinion at all. It was quite boring, wasn't really a fan of it. I was expecting Paul Heyman to be in the cell, but when WWE booked Paul Heyman just to stand on top of the cell and just watch it, it just really didn't make sense whatsoever, and was kind of disappointing. The fact that people are going to buy this DVD to watch Paul Heyman go up against CM Punk and not really get that match they paid for, and the fact that CM Punk then attacked Paul Heyman after the match did go on for quite way too long and really was a dead feud after that. Wasn't really too interested about that whatsoever. The crowd were reacting, they were going yes, yes, yes about it, but honestly, I wasn't too entertained by that segment whatsoever after the match, and the match itself wasn't too entertaining. Not really a fan by Ryback, and I thought CM Punk was quite sloppy during this match, so for me, 6 out of 10. The next match was Los Matadores versus the Real Americans, a match you probably wouldn't even see on a Monday Night Raw nowadays. I mean, Los Matadores were quite hot at the time, they'd just come into the WWE, but honestly, I'm a fan of the Real Americans, but Los Matadores versus the Real Americans on a pay-per-view, people are going to buy a DVD. It's not really something you want to see on a pay-per-view, let's be honest. So for me, 5 out of 10, really didn't care for that match at all. I think the biggest match of the night was probably John Cena returning against Alberto Del Rio. So if you're a Cena fan, you want a copy of Cena returning to action after 2 months from Summer. To be honest, the match itself wasn't too entertaining. I did in fact review that match on my best of pay-per-view matches of 2013, but yet again, I'm probably going to give it a 6 out of 10, because to be honest, it wasn't as good as all the hype suggested. I think the fact that Cena was coming back was all the hype, and the match itself wasn't that entertaining. I mean, it was the last World Heavyweight Championship run, so the fact that John Cena won it here and then went on to the unification match is quite a big moment, but apart from that, the match itself wasn't too entertaining. I think the biggest point about this was a returning John Cena. Apart from that, the match itself wasn't too good. I mean, Del Rio always puts on good matches. This was probably one of his worst matches of 2013. Really wasn't a fan of that match, even though a lot of people do quite like that match. Now, the next match was the Divas Championship match between AJ Lee and Brie Bella. Quite like this match. It was quite an athletic match, nice pacing to it. Good ending as well, where Brie Bella went into her sister Nikki, and then AJ Lee got the Black Widow locked in. Actually, quite a few good spots during this match. Quite entertaining, a nice fast-paced Divas match. I'll give it an 8 out of 10. And the last match was the main event where Shawn Michaels returned. Yes, Shawn Michaels returned to Hell in a Cell guest referee the vacated WWE Championship match between Orton and Daniel Bryan. Big match. You've got Shawn Michaels returning. It's a Hell in a Cell match for the vacant WWE Championship, and the last match between Orton and Daniel Bryan at a pay-per-view. Probably the biggest feud of 2013. So it really was the pinnacle of their feud. And to be honest, quite enjoyed this match. I mean, I'm not really a fan of Hell in a Cell matches. I've never really been a fan of the gimmick since they're not allowed to take it outside of the actual cage. But really, I thought that this was better than the Punk and Ryback and Paul Heyman match. Did quite enjoy this match. I definitely think it was their best match out of all the 3 pay-per-view matches they did have. And the fact that the ending was so great, Shawn Michaels turned on Daniel Bryan and sweet-chinned him. Daniel Bryan hit the finisher on to Triple H. The knee to the head was great as well, but Orton got their win in the end. Big moment, winning the vacated WWE Championship. A good match overall. I give it an 8 out of 10. And the DVD extras have the kickoff show between Kofi and Damien Sandow. CM Punk reflects on Hell in a Cell. And actually, an exclusive interview to this DVD was John Cena returning from injury, an actual interview. And then from the Blu-ray exclusives, you had Shawn Michaels promises a new champion at Hell in a Cell on the 14th of October, Monday Night Raw. The no disqualification match for the WWE Tag Team Champions, where Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns versus Cody Rhodes and Goldust on 14th of October 2013. Daniel Bryan versus Randy Orton contract signing on the 21st of October 2013, and then Michael Cole interviews Triple H on 25th of October 2013. So that's the exclusives, guys, but to be honest, I'm going to be quite negative here. I really didn't enjoy this DVD at all. Not very entertaining whatsoever. There was like 1 or 2 matches I slightly enjoyed, but a lot of it I really wasn't too bothered about and really didn't batter an eyelid whatsoever too. Very boring DVD. Wasn't a fan of the pay-per-view at the time, and to watch the DVD again was kind of a pain. I just really didn't enjoy it. So sorry, wasn't a fan. But if you are a fan of Hell in a Cell, really recommend going on to www.dvd.co.uk to get it. They're definitely the best place to get DVDs, but honestly, wasn't a fan of this DVD. Really didn't enjoy it whatsoever. Definitely won't probably watch it ever again. So thanks for watching, guys. Hopefully you have in fact enjoyed this video. Sorry for being so negative, but just didn't enjoy it. Thanks for watching. Take care. Spat your hair. I'll probably give this DVD a 6 out of 10. Goodbye.